This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
He may have tried to suck on my toes. I'm not sure.
Would you have let him?
No. Did I ever tell you about have I ever told you about my Vince? I know I've told the story about Vince and Pat and us in Chattanooga.
Can't wait.
Pat Patterson was, and I was traveling with Vince and Pat and Bruce and whoever.
They used to say it like Bruce and Pat. Like it was a word. Bruce and Pat.
Right. And Terry Garvin was with us at times. And whoever, I can't remember the driver's name, Jim, somebody. And we would like go between towns. And we were in Chattanooga, Tennessee at the UTC Arena. And Pat and I were just having a great time. And Pat was like, giving me, talking to me like, boy, you got a nice ass and stuff like that. And, just being very playful with me.
He's fucking with you.
He was fucking with me.
To be clear, because we're going to get shit about what you're about to say.
No, we're not.
He was doing it in a jovial, joking.
That's right.
A guy kind of fucking with another guy.
Right.
Like I give you shit. He was giving you shit. In his Pat way.
In his Pat way. And Vince pulled me aside and said, Tony, are you offended by this? Are you uncomfortable with Pat doing that? Because Pat is just joking with you. I said, I'm not at all. I have a lot of fun. He said, okay, if it ever gets to that point, let me know. So I'm telling you, Vince handled it the right way.
Well, because that's just the way guys joke.
Right. And that's what I said to him.
Sometimes, and I mean, we're giving a peek behind the curtain.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times you and I have a conversation a week or a month where at some point in the lull of the conversation, I'll say, hey, do you want to see my dick?
Right.
And you'll say, well, not today, or maybe later, or whatever. That's not me coming on to you.
No.
That's just fucking with each other.
Right.
And that's what Pat Patterson was doing, but he was using probably homophobia at the time.
Right.
Just of the day.
Right.
To use it as a weapon to be funny. And it was a funny ha-ha. Anyway, I just want to be clear about that because I feel like there's a misconception of Pat that Pat did all these inappropriate things to all these folks.
No.
And there were other people there who were doing that.
Right.
And he unfortunately gets lumped in with that. And that's unfair.
He shouldn't.
He gets lumped in because he had a good relationship with guys and had a good joking way about his... Right. That was his way of dealing with being different. It's a coping mechanism where when you're different... It's like as a defense mechanism, rather.
Right.
If I make a fat joke...
Right.
Then you can't make one.
Right.
Well, you can, but it disarms it.
Right.
Because I started it. So if anyone wanted to make something of his homosexuality, he already sort of beat you to the punch.
Right. We're getting really deep here.
We are,
but psyche.
But he is a very anyone I know who has known him for a long time, whether it was Bruce or others, and I do know others who've known him for decades, they always make it clear that there were people who were offenders, and we've already said two of the names so far on this show, who did things that they definitely shouldn't have. But Pat Patterson, after all the accusations, as far as I know,
he was
cleared of all that stuff.
He was not one of them.
But he was lumped in because he had this joking, jovial manner about it.
And because he was gay.
Exactly.
And people would lump all the gay people together, which is the wrong thing to do.
Because Mel was, or because Terry was, therefore we know Pat was.
Right.
So because they all have a sexuality in common, they must also be, and that's unfair.
That is unfair. And listen, I had a lot of respect for Pat Patterson. And let's face it, we've said it before on this podcast, Pat Patterson will go down as one of the greatest minds ever in this business for finishes, for setting up matches, whatever. He will.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I agree. Okay.
All right.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.